Hi guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new to the channel, please make sure to click the subscribe button and little bell icon to be notified when I post. I mostly post like hauls and fashion content, so if that's the type of videos that you like to watch, make sure to subscribe because I would really appreciate it. But for today's video, we're going to be changing it up a little, doing something a little bit different. So if you've been a subscriber on my channel for a while, you know that I posted a video a while ago that was like what it was like working at Tommy Hilfiger, and I planned to start a series on this channel which was what it's like, which would be me just making videos of like what it's like for me in some experiences that I've had. So first it was working at like Tommy Hilfiger. Another one that I plan to do is like what it's like doing some modeling, because I've done some like amateur stuff. And for today's video, we are actually going to be doing what was it like being a competitive cheerleader. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that today. Yeah, but I think that's about it. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so first things first, I'm going to give you guys like a little bit of a background on me cheerleading. I was a cheerleader for 5 years from 2015 until 2020, and the only reason that I stopped was because of COVID. They did continue to do cheerleading through COVID, but it was like a little bit iffy. Sometimes they would have the gym closed down, sometimes we'd have to do it online. I absolutely hated it doing it online. Yeah, so, and also like I do have an injury in my shoulder, so even if I wanted to continue and compete, I'm not able to do that until I get my shoulder fixed, because I actually dislocated it at cheer one time and now it's a little fucked up. But yeah, if you guys want to hear more about that, I will let you know, but let me know down in the comments. Yeah, so I did competitive all-star cheer. So we actually went to competitions all the time. There was no like sideline cheering for like sports events. It was literally just competing, the 2 minutes and 30-second routine. I have been all positions. I've been a base, a front, a back, and a flyer as well. Definitely my favorite position was flyer, but I only got to do that for a little bit. I started at level 1. That was my absolute favorite team, and then I eventually went up to 4. I think our last season we were in 5, but that's when I stopped and I didn't have all of my skills for level 5. But I was still on the team, so it was a little bit, you know. That is my background. I've wanted to be a cheerleader since I was like maybe 5 or 6. I don't know. I just remember like, I don't even know where I saw cheerleaders. I just remember like I saw something somewhere. Maybe I watched Bring It On or something, and I was like, I want to do that. Yeah, so that's what I did. I kept bugging my mom to take me. I finally started when I was 14, which was a little too late for my liking, but yeah, I started cheer when I was 14, and I finished when I would have been 19, or turning 19. Yeah, so that's all for my background. I'm going to get into my experience of it now. So first we're going to get into competitions. Competitions I absolutely loved competitions. Like, I hated practice, but I loved competitions. And I loved like competing against people. So when you go on, you have 2 minutes and 30 seconds for your routine. You practice like months and weeks and just put all your effort into literally only a 2 minute and 30-second routine. And I know so many people are like, oh, cheerleading's not a sport, it's not that hard, but like, we are pushed so hard, and the conditioning is also really hard. So I'm gonna fight and say it is a sport. Like, the amount of work that you have to do for it is insane. It's just the same as like any other sport, because I've played like soccer and everything before too. I'd say it's the same. Yeah, the competitions were really fun. The only annoying part is that you'd have to check in like 3 hours before, and then you have to go to like this practice gym, which is behind the stage usually, before you go on to the actual gym. So that was a bit annoying, having to be there, like, say you didn't go on until 12, you literally have to be there at like, I don't know, maybe like 8 in the morning, which was a little bit annoying, and then you have to get up even earlier to like drive there. So yeah, it was a little bit of a hassle sometimes. Like, if you were going to a cheer competition, you'd be there all day. So your literally entire day is gone. After you go to the practice gym, then you move on to like the side, like waiting to go on to the stage. And I never used to get nervous like in the practice gym or like actually being on stage, but it was the waiting that would make me nervous. Like I'd be standing there, I'd just be like, oh my god, like we're about to go on, and you see all these people, you like watch the team before you. So yeah, it was like a little bit nerve-wracking, not the entire thing, but literally just waiting to go on. It's probably different for like everyone, but just for me, I would only get nervous like waiting there, because I guess I wasn't like occupied doing anything. Yeah, but I absolutely loved performing. I got that like thrill, that like, maybe it's like adrenaline or something, but I don't know, when I walked onto that stage, I just get so like excited and like energetic, and I would just love performing. But yeah, and then after you come off, like you're just so out of breath, and if you did really well, like everyone's just happy and like hugging each other and like jumping around. But if you would like say you didn't hit your routine, it would be like everyone comes off the stage and it's just such like a down aura, you know, like everyone's like so disappointed in themselves, and then like obviously your coach is disappointed in you. So sometimes it was a little bit stressful because you'd be like hoping it goes well, and if it doesn't, like, you know how everybody's gonna be feeling, like what the vibe's gonna be, so it just depends. But it was always fun. And then afterwards you have to wait another few hours for the awards. They'd always do some like fun stuff during awards, which they would have like they'd have like music going, the little like dancing, there'd be like some sort of competition. Sometimes they do like handstand competitions or whatever, just keep us occupied while we're waiting. Yeah, and then they go like category by category and announce the winners of each category. Yeah, I always loved awards. They would always give you something like medals, or sometimes they give us little like, not papers, I don't know what the word is. It's like something you put on your wall, like not flags, because they were like square, but I don't know. Anyways, they'd give you like pins, that kind of stuff. Like for nationals, they'd give you blankets, water bottles, pins, whatever it was for that year. So that was pretty cool because you always got like something. After awards, we'd usually like take some pictures, and then that's when we'd get to go home. And of course at awards they also have, or sorry, not at awards, at competitions they'd have like all these booths set up. You could buy like cheer shoes or new shorts, sports bras, bows. They'd always have bow tables, which was one of my favorites. I'd get a bow at like every single competition that I went to, just as like memory, even though I don't remember what any of my bows are from, but oh well, I just have like a shit ton of bows now. But it's like every cheerleader's dream to just have like a wall of bows, so yeah, I was getting close. I actually have my cheer bow collection video up, so if you want to see my cheer bows, I will link it up above somewhere, so just click on that and it will take you to that video if you want to see my cheer bows. The competitions were really fun. I loved going. I don't know how it is for like other people. I know some people would get really nervous. Some people hated performing, but they still love the sport, so they still do it. I was able to like bring my friends sometimes to watch me. Yeah, so it was just really fun like all the time. And it's like a chance to like, you meet other people, and just the energy, like there's other teams cheering you on, there's other teams like, you know, like giving you pointers and tips and be like, it's okay, don't worry. So yeah, it was really good. There's definitely good sportsmanship in cheer most of the time, sometimes not, but we will get into that also later. Next, we're going to talk about like pricing. So as aforementioned about the competitions, competitions actually you did have to pay to get into every single one. So like my mom, for example, every time she would come to a competition with us, which was every single one, she had to pay to get in. Which does make sense because like obviously we have to somehow use like the facility that we were in, like somehow have to pay for it. Our like competition fees were covered at the beginning of the year in our like package thing that we did. So at every 2 years we'd get a new uniform. That was around like maybe $300 to $400 depending on like the detailing of it, the manufacturer, that kind of stuff. But it is for 2 years, so it's not too bad. You have to pay for cheer shoes. Those usually last maybe like a year or two, maybe 3, depending on like how much work you do. Then you also pay for like extra tumbling classes if you need it, which I did, so I used to always pay for like extra tumbling classes. You pay the tuition fee for the gym, and then yes, like the comp fees. What else? If we had to do like any sort of traveling, you have to pay for like your own gas if you're driving there, your plane ticket if you're flying there. There was occasionally like if you were to win, like certain competitions, they would pay for, you'd get something called a bid, which was there was different types of bids. So you might get one that would like pay for your flight and your hotel. You might get one that would like pay for everything. Yeah, so it's almost kind of like a scholarship technically to go to like a certain competition. So yeah, they give you like some sort of money for it, which was pretty cool. I remember we got a few bids to a few places. I don't remember exactly where, but it was definitely cool. Next I want to talk about like my team and the people there. I loved my team all 5 years. I didn't have, oh actually, there was one year that I had this team that we didn't really like get along, all of us. There was obviously a few of us that were like friends, whatever, but there's always gonna be like majority of the time I did like my team. There's always gonna be those people that like you don't get along with on the team, but all that matters is if you guys can like put that aside and perform once you get onto the floor and like work together. So I feel like I was always able to work well with people. I never had like problems specifically me with other people. I know that there were problems with some people on the team that they had like with other people, so definitely it gets like there's gonna be problems sometimes, because it's literally like, think about when you're in your house with your family, you get into fights, like you guys are gonna like disagree on things, or there's gonna be like problems. It's literally, when you're in cheerleading, it's like a second family, so that's obviously going to happen again, like just as it would happen at home, it's going to happen with your cheer family, and you just have to accept it and like learn to work with it, as long as you don't bring it onto the floor with you. As well, sometimes what I was talking about earlier with the competitions and the like other teams, there was a majority of the time the other teams, or not even opposing teams, just like random teams, majority of the time they are very, very sweet and so nice and encouraging, and we like a lot of the time before we'd be going on stage, we'd offer the other team good luck and like wish them well on the floor, and like cheer them on as well. But there was always that team, not at like a specific event or not a specific team, but like at some events there would always be that one team that would just like glare at you, or like not say good luck back if you would say it to them, and they were like a little bit rude. So there's always like those few people, but you don't gotta worry about them. Honestly, like if we're at a cheer competition, most of the time we just be like, okay, like that's weird, but obviously it wouldn't bother us. And honestly, not everyone's gonna be so nice and encouraging, so you just gotta accept it, and that's how it goes sometimes, but you know. Next I want to talk about practices. So practices were pretty intense. I know we do, I don't remember how long it was. Maybe we do like half an hour of conditioning every practice, but it was intense. I know they like time us and like you have to have it done in this time, but like we'd be pushing ourselves so hard and be out of breath and like not able to complete it in all that time. Then okay, you have to finish it afterwards, then you have to stay late and finish it. So conditioning was definitely intense. I think I had my last team that I was on, I had practice Wednesdays, I think it was 6 to 9, and or 6 to 8, maybe 8:30, and Saturdays it was 8 or 9 to I want to say 12 or 11:30. Yeah, so we practiced roughly around like 6 hours per week. That's not including like the extra tumbling that I would do and like some other girls would do as well. Some girls were coaches as well, so some people legitimately lived at the gym. Not like actually lived there, but I mean like they were there morning till night, like 3, 4, 5 days a week, doing like everything. They'd coach, they'd be on the team. Some people were on 2 teams, some people were crossovers. I was also a crossover at one point. It just gets really intense and crazy. Crossover just means that you're on like 2 teams, like within the same gym. So you have to like be at practice and then you go like right to the next practice. There was some girls that would be there Saturday morning for my team at like 8, and then they'd stay until our practice finished at like 11:30, and then the next team would come in and they were on that next team, and they'd be there until like 4 p.m. They'd be there from like 8 until like maybe 5 or 6 at night. It was insane. It's like having a full-time job for them. So yeah, definitely like, I don't know how they did it. I was a crossover at one point, but it wasn't like that intense, so that part definitely like kind of amazed me. I was like, how are you here all this time and you don't pass out on the floor? Which, don't get me wrong, there definitely were people during practice which were like throwing up and passing out and fainting, and it was just a whole thing, like, So yeah, the training was pretty intense. I know we'd be doing like tumbling and stunting and whatever. During stunting, if one of the groups wasn't hitting, they would make us like go into a plank, and we'd have to hold that until they got it right. So sometimes we'd be holding plank for like 10 minutes, and it was insane. If you like dropped, they'd tell you like get up and start over. It was a lot. So there was that. A lot of the time, like, we'd all get frustrated as well because we weren't hitting. There'd be good days and there'd be bad days. Normally we'd start with conditioning, so we'd come in, do our warm-up, and then we'd start with conditioning. So it would be like, there's lines on the floor, so we'd do something for like every line, and then we'd have to do like scooters across the floor or shoulder taps on the wall, like handstand shoulder taps. There'd be like jump up on the block. Sometimes they'd like incorporate the tumbling into the conditioning. So honestly, sometimes I was like, I can't do this. It's so much sometimes, and like they often change it up too, so you'd have to get used to it again. It was just a lot sometimes. But overall, I feel like them pushing us that hard did help us to do better on the floor. It like helped our stamina, and we were able to like put up with more like on the floor. But definitely I did not enjoy like being at practice so much, and like waking up early for practices on Saturdays, because then I couldn't like stay out late Friday nights. I know like a lot of the time my friends would ask me to like hang out and go do stuff with them, and all the time I'd have to say I can't have cheer, which is just the life of a cheerleader. I know people have missed prom and dances and tests and stuff just for cheerleading, so I'd say like I didn't miss out on too much, but I definitely feel like I missed out on some experiences with my friends just because I was like at cheerleading a lot of the time. A lot of the time, even if people wanted to do things on the weekend, I have cheer because I'd have a competition like almost every weekend, if not every other weekend. So yeah, definitely took away from like my personal life, but it was a choice that I made, so I can't really complain about that. But obviously it's like a little bit upsetting at the time when like I'm just like a teenager and like that's my time to go out and do things, and I couldn't do it sometimes. Lastly, I kind of want to talk about like the opportunities that I got from cheerleading, which I'm super grateful for. So first of all, I want to give a shout out to Bobby Joe from World Class Bows. I did a little bit of modeling for her a few years ago. I don't remember the exact date, and I was like wanting to get into modeling at that time, so they were having a casting call, and I went and auditioned, and she picked me to model for them. I'll include some pictures if I can find them. But yeah, that was like my first real modeling thing, so I was like super excited, and I just like absolutely loved working with her. She was so sweet and so nice, and she took beautiful pictures of us, and she gave us little goodie bags every time we would go shoot with her. They would give us little bows. So yeah, it was just so much fun, and I absolutely loved doing it. I felt professional. So yeah, that was the first one, and I'm so grateful to her for like choosing me to be with to be a model for her. And also like I met some people there, which was really cool, people from like different teams. Also it was based in the US. I think I was the only person from Canada maybe, so yeah, we just like crossed the border over to like Buffalo or whatever, but still it was pretty cool. So yeah, there was that. And then also when I went to that audition to audition for her, she had this photographer there named Michael Crisafulli, and he actually has his own photography company called Creative Side Photography, and he actually ended up like giving me his card and whatever, and he said he wanted to shoot with me as well. So I did end up having a few photo shoots with him aside from shooting with World Class Bows. So yeah, we did a few photo shoots together, and he still wants to work with me and he still wants to take pictures, so I'm definitely down for that. I will throw up some of the work that he's done with me as well. These are some of my favorite pictures also. So yeah, I definitely have had some like amazing opportunities from cheer. I remember when I got the letter in the mail from World Class Bows that I was gonna be modeling for them, I like cried. I was so happy, and I know like to some people they're like, oh, it's not a big deal, but I was like, this was my first step in like a direction of a dream that I have, so it's like, for me, I was like, oh my god, my dream come true. And then also, I did end up being picked to model some like uniforms and stuff just for my gym as well. We did like a little fashion show one time. That was pretty fun. So yeah, nothing really happened out of that, but it was still fun to do that little thing and get to wear the uniform for everyone else. So yeah, it's pretty cool. That is gonna be all for this video. I'm not quite sure if I left anything out. I hope I didn't, but if I did, maybe I'll make a part 2. I plan on doing more of these what it was like videos, so let me know down below what type of videos you guys would want to see for these. I was thinking of doing like a modeling one. I have like a heart problem, not problem, but like condition. It doesn't really bother me, but I'm like, maybe I'll do something on that. But yeah, I'm really excited for this, and more fashion content is also going to be coming your way. Christmas and winter is coming, so I'm going to have a lot of outfits for that, and I'm super excited. So once again, if you're new to the channel, please make sure to click the subscribe button and little bell icon to be notified when I post, which is usually every Tuesday at 5. I would really appreciate it. Our family is growing really fast on this channel, so join before it gets super big, so you can say you were here from the beginning. And all my social medias will be linked down below. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye! And I if I dream of you, if I dream of you, dream of you.